All right, thanks, guys. Coming off an exceptional Saturday in our Major League Baseball plays, 20 wins, 7 losses, and 1 tie in our MLB leans, 27-1 in those MLB leans for Saturday. Great day there. We also went 2-1 in our Patreon plays, which those are the real deal. Those are games we actually have scratch in the game. So anyway, great day yesterday. Let's see if we can carry that over and see some more of the same today. We have a stacked slate of Sunday games, so let's go ahead and get into them, beginning with the Padres taking on the Blue Jays. And that's going to be a 1:07 Eastern first pitch in Toronto. Now, the Padres open the betting as the $1.10 favorite on the road, total 8.5. Now, we are seeing a lot of movement on this game. And as a matter of fact, we're seeing a 20-cent move toward the Padres with regard to the money line. We also saw a lot of movement on the total, all the way down to 7.5. That was a one-run move on the line. So once again, the Padres open $1.10 up to -130. Total open 8.5 down to 7.5. 67% of the consensus is leaning toward the Padres. Now 61% of the consensus is shaded toward the over in this one. And at the moment, the Blue Jays are plus 120 on the money line. San Diego plus $1.25 on the run line. We have Paddock for the Padres, Stroman for the Blue Jays. Stroman just 2-6 on the year for the Jays. Paddock 4-2 with a 1.93 ERA for the Padres. San Diego's 14-10 away from home. Winners in their last 5 straight. Nice 5-game winning streak for them. They rank second in walks allowed on the road on average. And they are 7-2 in their games where Paddock makes the start. So although Paddock's 4-2 in his personal record, San Diego's 7-2 straight up when he makes the start. Now Toronto on the other side, completely different story. They're winning just 27% of their games when Stroman makes the start themselves. They've also won just 4 out of 15 games as the official home dog. I'm going to lean San Diego -130 and the over 7.5 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Hopefully you're enjoying your Memorial Day weekend. I had to work last night, a little graveyard shift, but our website reactivation went very, very well. Knock on wood. So I did not have to be there for the full 8 hours. Got in there around 9:30 p.m. last night and left at about 4. So thought I was going to have to be there till about Monday night. But anyway, got out of there early, and now I'm able to do a little podcast with you guys out there. But anyway, got to quickly remind you to check me out on my website. It's patreon.com/BrockPage. We do daily plays on that site. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And another great day. We normally don't do 3 plays in one day, but there were a couple games I just could not resist. And so we went 2-1 in our Patreon picks yesterday. And there's plenty of options for you. There's free content there. There's also different memberships and tiers, packages that you can get involved with. We're doing very well in several different packages. And it starts at just $1.99 per month. So if you want to check that out, check out the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. So let's go ahead and get back into some more lines of personal leans. We will do the shout outs at the end of the show. The very controversial shout outs. And we have a shout out to a guy who I haven't seen in a very long time, but he has never ceased to troll me relentlessly for the last 3 years. So you'll have to find out who that is at the end of the podcast. All right, next game. It is going to be Tigers, Mets, and all starts are Eastern Standard Time on this program. So once again, Tigers taking on the Mets, 1:10 first pitch in Flushing, Queens. The Mets open $1.60, total 8.5. Nickel move toward the Mets, a movement downward on the total. 165 and 8 flat. Once again, New York open $1.60 up to -165. Total open 8.5 down to 8 flat. 63% on the Mets, 60% on the under. Detroit's plus 150, Mets plus 125 on the run line. Spencer Turnbull for the Tigers, Zach Wheeler for the Mets. Turnbull's just 2-3 on the year. Detroit's second to last in scoring. They also rank dead last in striking out on average. They're just 1-10 straight up in their last 11. They're winning just 34% of their games as the dog, and they're also winning just 37% of their games, taking on teams allowing more than 4.2 runs per contest. Now, the Mets on the other side, very good in Flushing, Queens. They're winning 61% of their games on their home field. Winners in 5 out of their last 6 at any location. And they rank 8th in home scoring on average. Now, total-wise, the Mets are 80% of the over in their last 5. Give me the Mets minus 165 and the over 8 runs in that game. Next matchup, Rays, Indians, 110 Cleveland. The Indians open $1.20, total at 8. Nickel move toward the Indians and movement upward on the total, minus $1.25 and 8.5. Once again, Cleveland open $1.20, up to minus 125. Total open 8, up to 8.5. We have Ryan Stanek for the Rays, Trevor Bauer for the Indians. Bauer comes into this game with a 3.95 ERA, quite different from years past. Cleveland also, they're ranking last in hits on average. They've covered just 12 out of 28 games at Progressive Field. And of course, when I refer to covering or the spread or ATS, I'm actually referring to the run line. So once again, Cleveland covering in just 12 out of 28 run line plays on their home field this year. They're losers in 5 out of their last 6, and they rank 25th in scoring on average. Now, the Rays on the other side, completely different story. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They're actually 11 games over 500 right now. They are 30-19 overall. They're also 17-8 away from home and 16-9 ATS away from home as well. Now, total-wise, Cleveland's 5-0 to the under in their last 5 at Progressive Field. Give me the underdog road team in this one. I'll take the Rays plus 1.5 and the under 8.5 in that game. Next matchup, Dodgers, Pirates, 135 Pittsburgh. The Dodgers open 145, total 8.5, 15-cent move toward the Dodgers, and movement upward on the total, minus 160 and 9 flat. Once again, the Dodgers open $1.45 up to minus 160, total open 8.5 up to 9 flat. 69% on the Dodgers, 56% on the under. Pittsburgh's plus $1.45. The Dodgers plus 105, laying the run and a half. We have Kenta Maeda for the Dodgers, Archer for the Buccos. Archer's just 1-4 with a 5.55 ERA. Maeda's 5-2 with a 3.51 ERA for the Dodgers. Now, Pittsburgh is just 1-4 in their last 5. They're also very bad against the run line at home. They've covered just 8 out of 23 games at home with regard to the run line. They rank 25th in home scoring, and they've lost 6 out of their last 7 games when Archer made the start. Now, the Dodgers on the other side, absolutely dominant against Pittsburgh this year, 5-0 against the Pirates in their 5 head-to-head matchups this season. The Dodgers are also winning a very impressive 75% of their games played at the current market price. They rank first in the Major League Baseball organization in road walks. And, hey, guys, they are 34-18 overall for the year. Now, total-wise, the Dodgers are 5-0 to the over in their last 5. Pittsburgh, very similar trend there, 7-1 to the over in their last 8. Give me the Dodgers minus 160 and the over 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Marlins, Nationals. 1:35 Eastern first pitch in the nation's capital on this Memorial Day weekend. The Nats open $1.25, total at 8. 10-cent move toward the Nats and movement upward on the total, 135 and 8.5. Once again, Washington open $1.25 up to minus 135. Total open 8 up to 8.5. Miami's plus 120. Washington's plus 130 on the run line. We have Caleb Smith for the Fish. Eric Fetty for the Nats. Fetty comes into this game with a 2.87 ERA. Washington is 7th in home hits, 6th in striking batters out. The Marlins on the other side, horrible. They're last in scoring, second to last in walks allowed on the road. They are 16-33 straight up overall for the year. Winners in just 7 out of 23 games when traveling. And, well, they're just 4-10 in their last 14 on the road as well. Now, total-wise, Miami 16-7 to the under away from home just because they can't score. Give me Washington minus 135 and the under 8.5 in that game. Next matchup, Red Sox, Astros, 210 Houston. The Stros open $1.70, total at 9. Nickel fade of Houston and movement downward on the total, -165 and 8.5. Once again, Houston open $1.70, down to -165. Total open 9, down to 8.5. 68% are leaning Houston, 63% toward the under. Right now, Boston's +150 on the money line, Houston +120 on the run line. We have Eduardo Rodriguez for the Red Sox, Justin Verlander for the Stros. Verlander 8-1 on the year, 2.24 ERA. This guy is in the prime of his career. Now on the other side, Eduardo Rodriguez, he's got a 5.43 ERA for Boston. Houston, unbelievable this year. 35-18 overall, 20-6 straight up at home. And they are winners in 14 out of their last 17 ball games. They rank first in hits allowed on average, first in home strikeouts, and they are winning 78% of their games, taking on teams between 460 and 540. Of course, that is a win percentage there. Now, Boston, they've had their hands full with Houston this year. They've lost 4 out of their last 5 head-to-head matchups with the Astros. The Sox are also winning just 36% of their games, taking on teams allowing less than 3.9 runs per contest. And one final note about Boston, they're winning just 37% of their games as the official Vegas underdog. Now, total-wise, Boston is 5-0 to the under, taking on Houston this year. And the Astros, no surprise here, 9-2 to the under when Verlander makes the start. Give me the Astros -165 and the under 8.5 in that game. Next matchup, White Sox, Twins, 210 Minnesota. The Twins open 245, total at 10. Nickel fade of the Twins and movement upward on the total, 240 and 10.5. Once again, Minnesota open 245, down to -240. Total open 10, up to 10.5. 72% are leaning Twins, 55% shaded toward the under. Right now, the White Sox are +210 on the money line. Twins -$1.30, laying the run and a half. We have Dylan Covey for the White Sox, Jake Odorizzi for the Twins. Odorizzi 6-2 with a 2.38 ERA for Minnesota. Meanwhile, on the other side, Chicago has Dylan Covey slated on the bump today. He's 0-2 with a 4.87 ERA. Now, Minnesota, very good this year. I did not see it coming. I think a lot of people did. I was a little pessimistic coming into the season about the Twins, but hey, they are 35-16 overall for the year, 17-8 at home. Very good on the run line as well, 15-10 ATS on their home field, and they are winning 70% of their games when Jake Odorizzi makes the start. Now, a couple more things to add about the Twins. They are 23-7 straight up, taking on teams allowing more than 4.2 runs per contest. Even more impressive, they're winning 80% of their games as the official Vegas favorite. And even more impressive than that, they're 6-0 in their games at the current market price. Now, on the other side, Chicago, well, they're winning just 25% of their games when Covey makes the start. The winners in just 6 out of 17 games, taking on teams over 540, and they rank dead last in striking batters out on the road. Now, total-wise, Chicago 6-2 to the under in their last 8. And one more thing I want to add about Minnesota. They are 10-1 straight up in their last 11. They are red hot right now. Capitalize on these guys. Give me the Twins -1.5 and the under 10.5 in that game. Next matchup, Fightins. Brew Crew, 2:10 Eastern first pitch in Milwaukee. The Brewers open $1.60, total 9.5. Nickel move toward the Brewers and movement downward on the total, 165 and 9 flat. Once again, Milwaukee opened $1.60 up to -165. Total open 9.5 down to 9 flat. 55% are leaning Milwaukee, 59% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Phils are plus $1.50 on the money line. Milwaukee plus $1.10 on the run line. We have Zach Eflin for the Phils, Brandon Woodruff for the Brewers. Eflin's 5-4 with a 2.76 ERA for the Fightins. Phillies 7-2 in their last 9. 10 games over 500 right now, 31-21 overall, and they are very good on the run line when traveling. 15-9 against the spread away from home. They rank 5th in runs allowed away from home as well. Now, the Brewers on the other side, they're kind of struggling against those top-tier teams. They're winning just 47% of their games, taking on teams over 540. They've lost 5 out of their last 7 straight, and they rank 28th in striking batters out at home on average. Now, total-wise, Milwaukee's 4-2 to the under in their last 6. They're also 70% to the under in their third game without a day off. So I know that's a bizarre stat, but that does come into play here. Give me the Fightin' Phils plus 1.5 as the road dog, and the under 9 runs in that game.